Kia ora, and welcome to Tuesday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect New Zealand. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz. And today we start with news of gold and other commodity prices that have pushed up to record territories again as geopolitical risks rise. Cryptos are notable by their impotence in the background, irrelevant in this environment. Perhaps one reason is in the US, where the president has used his weaponized Justice Department to pressure the Federal Reserve to bow to his will. The clearly bogus criminal charges are being resisted by Chairman Powell. The unseemly crisis could aggravate risk premiums worldwide, but so far interest rates have remained stable. You can be sure that bond markets will be watching closely, however. But the US dollar is noticeably weaker today. It has not been in the limelight recently, but we should note that US grain farmers are facing tough trading, with them being shut out of the Chinese trade for soybean and corn. Trump seems to have thrown them under the bus. In India, consumer price inflation rose to 1.3% in December from 0.7% in November, but below the market consensus of 1.5%. Despite the rise, this rate remains well below the Reserve Bank of India's tolerance limit of 2 to 6%. Prices fell less for food, which represents nearly half of the consumer basket. In Australia, household spending rose strongly in November, up 1% from October, up 6.3% from November a year ago. This result was much better than expected. And Australia said it will buy and stockpile key rare earth minerals from domestic producers to strengthen defence and technology supply chains and reduce reliance on China. They're initially focusing on antimony and gallium under a new $1.2 billion program. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now just over 4.18% and up 1 basis point from this time yesterday. And Wall Street has opened its week with the S&P 500 very little changed, up 0.1%. And perhaps we should note that serial underperformer Raycon in New Zealand has received another takeover bid from a previous suitor, this one less than the last, and the frustrated shareholders look like they'll finally accept. They'll put the mismanagement misery behind them, it seems. They'll be selling for $1.55 a share. These shares peaked at $5.60 back in the day, $2.08 in 2022. Today they're at $1.36 a share, so the market isn't yet pricing a full chance of the takeover. At the other end of the scale, we should also note that Alphabet, Google's boss, briefly hit $4 trillion in market valuation early today, the second company to do that after Nvidia, as they sharpened their AI gains, both with impressive integrated solutions and a recent deal with Apple, who was pushed into third place on the valuation table. And the price of gold will start today at $4,617 an ounce, up $108 from yesterday on the risk from the unsettled US Fed. Silver's now up over $80.50 an ounce. American oil prices are unchanged from yesterday at just on $59 a barrel, while the international Brent price is just under $63.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is up 40 basis points from yesterday, now just under 57.7 US cents. Against the Aussie, we're up 10 basis points at 85.8 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're also up 10 basis points at just under 49.4 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just on 61.7 and up 30 basis points from yesterday. In offshore trading, the Chinese yuan has strengthened as well, past the 4 to a US dollar level and rising. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $92,071 and up 1.2% from this time yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been modest, also at just on plus or minus 1.2%. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston. Do this again tomorrow.